In this video, we'll be taking a look at two NHL games happening on May 14, 2026, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 4 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these two NHL games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. We're heading into a pivotal Game 5 of this Eastern Conference second-round series, and if you've been paying attention to what's been unfolding inside the KeyBank Center this postseason, you already know this building has become a completely different animal. Buffalo hasn't hosted a playoff game since 2011, and when they finally came back this spring, the fans literally knocked over fencing at a watch party outside the arena when Mattias Samuelsson scored a go-ahead goal in round 1. That's the kind of energy we're talking about. This is a franchise that endured a 14-year playoff drought, the longest in NAHL history, and that hunger has transformed their home ice into something borderline unplayable for visiting teams. Now consider where this series sits. It's knotted at 2 games apiece, and there's a pretty fascinating dynamic if you look at how these games have actually played out. Buffalo took Game 1 at home, then got absolutely demolished in Games 2 and 3 by a combined score of 11-3. The Canadiens looked like they had every single answer. But then something clicked. Lindy Ruff, the same coach who was behind the bench the last time this franchise won a playoff series all the way back in 2007, made a gutsy call. He pulled Alex Lyon from the crease after Lyon had been stellar in round 1, posting a .955 save percentage with a 1.14 goals against average while helping close out Boston in 6 games. Lyon wasn't bad exactly, but 9 goals allowed on 63 shots across Games 2 and 3 forced Ruff's hand. In came Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, who hadn't seen game action since April 21st, and the Big Fin stopped 28 of 30 shots in a hostile Bell Center. He turned away the last 23 shots he faced after Montreal grabbed their 2-1 lead. That's not rust. That's a goaltender who spent 3 weeks sharpening the blade for exactly this moment. Here's the thing about this Buffalo team that people keep underestimating. They've been answering adversity all season long. After stumbling out of the gate at 14-4 and firing GM Kevin Adams in mid-December, the Sabres caught fire and rattled off a 32-6-2 stretch, the best 40-game run by any team since 1996. They climbed from last place in their division to first in the conference by March, finishing the year at 50-23-9 and hoisting the Atlantic Division crown. That kind of resilience doesn't just evaporate when the lights get brighter. Honestly, look at what Zach Benson did in Game 4. The kid turned 21 years old that night, scored the game-winning goal on the power play with a backhand from the doorstep, and became the first Sabres player ever to net a playoff game winner on his birthday. Only the 13th player in league history to pull that off. Benson has 4 goals and 7 points this postseason, and his compete level has been absolutely relentless. His line mate Josh Doan has been just as impressive, stringing together assists in 5 straight playoff games, the longest such streak by a Sabre since Tim Connolly back in 2006. Doan leads the team with 6 points in the second round alone. Tage Thompson, the heart and soul of this offense, already has 11 points in 10 playoff games, 4 goals and 7 assists, making him just the 6th player in franchise history to hit 10 points in his first 10 career postseason games. That puts him alongside names like Gilbert Perreault and Rick Martin. Buffalo also showed something in Game 4 that was completely absent in the previous 2 losses, and that's a real defensive backbone. They blocked 27 shots, their highest total in any game this playoff run. Samuelsson was an absolute beast with 6 blocks, 6 hits, and the opening goal in a team-high 23 minutes and 47 seconds of ice time. His coach Ruff flat out called him a beast after the game. The power play came alive at exactly the right time too, converting 2 of 4 chances in a situation where it absolutely had to deliver. Now the series shifts back to their building, where the home crowd has been electric beyond belief. Captain Rasmus Dahlin said after Game 1 that the noise was so loud he literally couldn't hear anything else. Buffalo went 26-10-5 at home during the regular season, and the atmosphere gives them a tangible edge in a game carrying this much weight. This is a team that thrives when backed into a corner, thrives on proving doubters wrong, and now gets to play in front of a fan base that waited nearly 2 decades for moments exactly like this. The Sabres have already proven they can win at home against elite competition, and more importantly, they've proven they can respond after getting punched in the mouth. Game 4's road win in Montreal showed the real character of this group, and bringing that mentality home to a rocking KeyBank Center is a scary combination for Montreal to deal with. As our first pick for this matchup, the Buffalo Sabres money line is our full game side pick. 3 of the first 4 games in this series have produced 6 or more combined goals, and Game 3 hit 8. The only exception was Game 4, which still produced 5 and could have easily gone higher if not for Luukkonen making some ridiculous saves on the penalty kill. When you look at the body of work between these two clubs, the scoring environment has been absolutely electric. Game 1 finished 4-2. Game 2 came in at 5-1. Game 3 was a whopping 6-2. And even Game 4's tighter 3-2 result featured a disallowed goal after a brutal 10-minute video review, telling you the raw chances were there for even more offense. That's 25 combined goals in 4 games. The shot volumes tell a big story as well. Buffalo has been generating plenty of looks but has only converted 43.5% of their attempts into actual shots on goal this series, well below their regular season rate of 49.2%. That kind of gap screams statistical correction, which means Montreal's netminder is going to face even more rubber than he's already been dealing with. Honestly, let's talk about pickdawgz for a second. The rookie has been phenomenal this postseason, especially during that 7-game war with Tampa Bay in the first round where he posted a .923 save percentage. But here's the catch. He's now made 12 consecutive starts dating back to the regular season, and before this stretch, his longest run of consecutive starts was just 4 games. That workload is catching up whether he wants to admit it or not. His save percentage has dropped to .895 in the second round, and while he's still battling, the cracks are starting to show. On the other side, Luukkonen put up a .909 save percentage during the regular season across 34 starts, and while he was sharp in Game 4, the reality is that he hadn't played in 3 weeks before that outing. Playoff intensity is a completely different beast, and expecting him to sustain that level of play with limited recent reps is asking a lot, especially against a Montreal attack that has been relentless from top to bottom. Alex Newhook has been on an absolute tear with 6 goals in the playoffs, 4 of them coming in the last 3 games alone. The line of Newhook, Jake Evans, and Ivan Demidov has been the most dominant unit in this series by both Corsi percentage and expected goals at 5-on-5, combining for 12 points in this round. Cole Caulfield scored 51 goals during the regular season and has found his groove with tallies in both games 3 and 4. Buffalo's attack isn't going to quiet down either. Thompson has been a force even when things aren't clicking perfectly, and Alex Tuch, despite still hunting for his first goal of this series, leads the Sabres with 1.63 expected goals and 10 scoring chances. When that dam finally breaks, it's going to break loudly. Both teams generate high-danger chances at a rapid clip. Both teams have power plays capable of striking multiple times in a single game. The emotional stakes of a tied series heading into Game 5 all but guarantee that neither side is going to sit back and play conservatively. This is playoff hockey with everything on the line, played by 2 teams that have already shown they can put up crooked numbers on any given night, and there's no reason to believe the fireworks are stopping now. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. You're watching a team that hasn't sniffed the postseason since 2018, a franchise that spent 7 straight years collecting lottery picks and enduring the kind of losing that makes fans question whether the rebuild would ever actually end, and now they're standing on their own ice at Honda Center with the entire season on the line. That's Anaheim tonight. And honestly, the more you study this game, the more you realize this might be the wrong spot to bet against them. Vegas comes in leading this series 3-2, and sure, the Golden Knights have all the pedigree you could ask for. 12 Stanley Cup champions on the roster, a coaching staff led by John Tortorella, who took over this bench with just 8 games left in the regular season after Bruce Cassidy was fired following a 32-26-16 start, and has been squeezing results out of this group ever since. But here's the thing, pedigree doesn't play defense for you when your roster is falling apart. Mark Stone, their captain, their emotional leader, the franchise's all-time postseason scoring leader with 79 career playoff points in 94 games, has been out since leaving Game 3 with a lower body injury late in the first period. He missed Game 4. He missed Game 5. Stone put up 73 points in just 60 regular season games this year, and he's one of the best two-way wingers in hockey, so you don't replace that kind of presence with a simple plug-and-play adjustment. Brandon Saad stepped into the lineup, and he's competed hard, but 9 points across 49 regular season games tells you everything about the size of that gap. Now pile on the fact that Brayden McNabb, one of Vegas's top pair defensemen, got suspended for tonight's game. The NHL's Department of Player Safety reviewed his late hit on Anaheim's Ryan Poehling in Game 5 and didn't mince words, noting that Poehling had no involvement with the puck and that McNabb finished the check with considerable force. First suspension of McNabb's career, and it stretches back over a decade in the league. So tonight, Vegas is missing their captain and a key blue liner at the same time, on the road, trying to close out a series against a team that has given them fits all year. And I mean all year. Anaheim swept the regular season series 3-0, the first time the Ducks franchise had ever done that against the Golden Knights. You know, regular season results don't always carry over into the playoffs, but the way Anaheim has competed in this series tells you it wasn't some lucky run. Strip away the Game 3 blowout, which was a complete outlier night where Lukas Dostal got yanked after allowing 3 goals on 9 first-period shots. And these teams have been practically mirror images of each other. Game 1, 3-1. Game 2, 3-1 the other way. Game 4, Anaheim won 4-3 at Honda Center. Game 5, Vegas won 3-2 in overtime. Shots in that 5th game were close to even, with Anaheim actually holding the edge 36-32. The Ducks dominated the second and third periods of that contest, outshooting Vegas 27-16 across those 40 minutes, and they forced overtime when Olen Zellweger, a defenseman who'd been a healthy scratch for 13 straight games before being reinserted into the lineup, wired a wrister from the left dot with 3 minutes left in regulation to tie it. The kid hadn't played a meaningful game in weeks, walked back into the lineup, and immediately made his presence felt. The thing about this young Anaheim core, and I think this is what separates them from your typical overachieving underdog story, is that they keep getting punched and they keep getting up. Joel Quenneville's group won games 4 and 6 against Edmonton in the first round when they needed them, closing out the Oilers in 6 after Anaheim hadn't won a playoff series since 2017. After the Game 3 disaster against Vegas, they came right back to Honda Center and won Game 4 4-3. Mason McTavish and Cutter Gauthier have been fueling the offense since that Game 4 pivot, and the numbers they're putting up at their age are kind of wild. Gauthier is 22 years old. He led this team with 41 goals and 69 points during the regular season. In Games 4 and 5 combined, he racked up 5 assists, including the primary helper on each of Anaheim's last 4 goals. McTavish, 23, has been physical and creative since returning from the healthy scratch list for Game 4, and his return coincided directly with Anaheim's power play waking up after going 0 for 11 with a short-handed goal against through the first 3 games of the series. And then you've got Beckett Senecki, who might be the most exciting part of this entire conversation. 20 years old, a rookie, the 3rd overall pick in the 2024 draft who surprised people on draft night and has spent every day since proving Anaheim right for taking the swing. He scored in 4 consecutive games in this series, setting a franchise playoff record for the longest goal streak by a Ducks rookie. His 5 playoff goals tied the all-time single postseason franchise rookie record, matching Bobby Ryan's mark from 2009. He became just the 4th rookie in the last 25 years to string together a 4-game postseason goal streak, joining Austin Matthews, Logan Couture, and Nicklas Backstrom. He's been fearless in front of Carter Hart, and that kind of confidence spreads fast through a locker room where 14 guys are making their NHL playoff debuts for the first time. Anaheim is at home tonight, backed by a Honda Center crowd that watched them win Game 4 in this building. They've got veteran insurance in guys like Alex Keillard, who won 2 cups with Tampa Bay in 2020 and 2021, and Chris Kreider, who came over from the Rangers last summer and brings 123 games of playoff experience to a room that desperately needed it. Vegas is hobbled, missing their captain and a key defenseman, trying to close things out on the road against a team that already proved it can beat them in this arena. Gauthier, McTavish, and Senek are rolling. The power play has scored in back-to-back games. Dostal has stabilized in net since that rough Game 3 outing, making 29 saves in the Game 5 loss and looking composed throughout. McTavish said after Game 5 that this is their first game with their backs against the wall, and he's excited for the group to show everybody what they've got. Gauthier said the team won't settle for being happy they made it this far. 14 of these players have never experienced an elimination game, and sometimes that kind of fearlessness, that willingness to just go play without carrying the weight of past failures on your shoulders, is the most dangerous thing you can bring to a building that's going to be rocking from puck drop. As our first pick for this matchup, the Anaheim Ducks money line is our full game side pick. Scoring in this series has followed a pretty telling pattern when you line the games up next to each other: 3-1, 3-1, 6-2, 4-3, 3-2. Those are totals of 4, 4, 8, 7, and 5 goals across the 5 games played so far. Toss out the Game 3 blowout, which was a complete anomaly where Vegas jumped out to 3-0 before most fans in the building had finished settling into their seats, and the other 4 games averaged under 5 combined goals per contest. That's tight hockey, and tonight is the type of game where you'd expect it to get even tighter. Elimination games breed caution. There's no way around it. You hear coaches talking about playing the right way and limiting mistakes when the season hangs in the balance, and both benches tonight are going to preach exactly that. Quenneville has coached a lot of hockey in his career, and with 14 rookies tasting their first whiff of elimination, you can bet Anaheim's game plan will emphasize structure over freelancing. Keep the shifts short. Stay above the puck. Don't give Vegas easy transition. On the Vegas side, Tortorella's entire coaching identity is built around grinding out close, competitive games and winning on defensive structure and relentless effort. He took over this team with 8 regular season games remaining, and his DNA is low event, hard-nosed hockey. Both coaching staffs will be selling their players the same message tonight: don't be the team that makes the costly mistake. Look at what happened in the middle frame of Game 5. The second period was completely scoreless. Both teams combined for 0 goals on 23 total shots across 20 minutes. Dostal was dialed in. Hart was dialed in. When the stakes climb in the playoffs, the checking tightens up, the neutral zone gets more congested, and both teams start prioritizing not losing over trying to force the action. That sounds cynical, but it's the reality of playoff hockey at this stage. The goaltending tells a similar story about this series compressing. Hart stopped 34 shots in Game 5, including a breakaway save on Jeffrey Veal that kept Vegas ahead in the third period. Before the Game 4 letdown where he allowed 4 goals, Hart had surrendered a combined 5 goals on 94 shots across the first 3 games of this round. He's been solid more often than he's been shaky. On Anaheim's end, Dostal bounced back well after getting pulled in Game 3, and his 29-save performance in Game 5 showed a goalie who has settled into the rhythm and pace of this series. When both netminders are comfortable and reading the play well, games compress. Scoring chances might be there, but finishing gets harder when the goalies are seeing the puck clearly and the shooters are gripping their sticks a little tighter than they'd like under elimination pressure. You also have to factor in the personnel losses on both sides and what those absences do to the offense around them. Vegas is without Stone, a 73-point forward, and McNabb, a top-pair defenseman who drives transition. Those are 2 guys who create offensive chances and generate zone entries, and their replacements won't produce at the same clip. On Anaheim's side, Poling is confirmed out after the hit in Game 5. Quenneville told reporters he'll miss at least this game and possibly more. Radko Gudas, the Ducks captain, has been dealing with a lower body injury since before Game 4. Fewer high-end playmakers available on the ice for both teams means fewer truly dangerous looks, and fewer dangerous looks means fewer goals. The 5-on-5 numbers back this up from the full season sample. Anaheim and Vegas posted nearly identical regular season shot attempt shares at 5-on-5, 52.2% for the Ducks and 51.9% for Vegas. These teams neutralize each other in the run of play, and they have all series. The goals in this matchup have come in bunches on the power play and off odd-man rush situations, and in an elimination game, teams tighten their gap control and their puck management in ways that reduce those exact opportunities. Both rosters are banged up enough that you shouldn't expect the tempo to ramp up tonight. If anything, the fatigue and the injury toll slow things down. Vegas has been patching their lineup together since Game 3. Anaheim has been playing down a center since Poling left in the first period of Game 5. When you lose players, you shorten your bench, and when you shorten your bench, the game slows. Shorter shifts, more conservative zone entries, less appetite for risk on either side. This game screams a 2-1, 3-2, maybe even a 2-0 type of finish. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed, subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.